My network rack is ugly. Thanks, Omada. Now that the Omada challenge video is over, I think it's time we clean up the rack to make it more presentable, especially since I will be using Omada more long term than originally planned. The main reason it needs to be so presentable when organized is because this rack is so often seen or used on display in many of my videos, which means that I personally would like it to be as presentable as possible. In this video, I'm going to do something very different than I normally would, and that is to talk as minimally as possible. This video's focus is mainly just to work on the homelab and nothing too much else. With that out of the way and the network cables removed, let me step down out of the way and let's get this rack organized. one change I am going to make is actually getting rid of this 1 gigabit switch in favor of a 2.5 gigabit switch, which is going to be this SG3210 XHP M2. That's a mouthful. So this is 8 2.5 gigabit PoE plus ports, as well as 10 gigabit SFP plus ports as well. So this should be plenty for my current setup. It's going to be pretty close. And then we're actually going to be using the ports on the ER8411 for the rest of our LAN ports. And that's why I'm getting rid of this switch and moving this. Now the other big change we're going to make too is my camera system's down. So we need to fix that. And as a consequence of moving to TP-Link, I bought this UNVR from Ubiquiti. And we need to get this set up too. But first, I think maybe should start here first. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start here first. So the reason why we are getting a UNVR now is because the UDM Pro that I have can't communicate with the internet even though it's plugged into it. So I think the way that it's designed is that the UDM Pro is supposed to have a WAN connection, and because it doesn't have an actual WAN connection, it's sitting behind my TP-Link router. It can't reach the internet even though it totally passes speed tests and all that stuff to the internet. But whatever, so since I can't use it as a UNVR like I was hoping to, I went out and bought this instead, and this is actually really heavy. So I went out and bought this instead, so we'll be using this from now on in our rack. You guys didn't see me rip that. I'm starting to wonder maybe if I should just put the UNVR on the bottom network rack, or server rack with the rest of the servers, or if I should put it in the network rack. I think putting it in the network rack might be a bit of a mistake, as it's pretty heavy and there's a lot of other stuff in there right now. And if I put it on the bottom of the rack, then I won't need this switch at all. I can just use my existing switch because it has more ports. So if I end up growing in the future, I won't have to swap out any ports. You know what? We're gonna move on. We're gonna just use this 2.5 gigabit switch. I think maybe that's the best call. Oh, maybe not, because if I add more cameras in the future. All right, we'll roll with it for now, and then if we have to change it out again in the future, we can just change it out. It's not that much extra work. So I really want to fill out all those blank spaces, so I'm getting out of storage my FS keystones. So hopefully I have enough of these for all of my rack. I don't think I do. I think I'm going to be short some, but hopefully there's enough. It doesn't look like it, but we're going to do the best with what we got. I'm taking a moment here to plan out how I want to rearrange my existing connections. Omada devices are right justified instead of providing an even spread across a single plane. So I really need to understand the layout before adding in the blank keystones. The keystones labeled C2, C3, C4, and C5 lead to the bottom server rack and are typically used as 10 gig connections. So these will likely need to move more left since a 10 gig switch is center justified. The ports are used in a variety of configurations as need to be as flexible as possible for YouTube purposes, as they are not always used in the same way. After a bit of cleaning up, this is what the mostly final setup looks like. I even made new labels for each of the keystones. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the new setup, but it does seem like there is still some room for improvement. I need to do something with the Ethernet cable that passes through the patch panel and goes to the OC200 that's hidden behind everything. Maybe I should put in a dedicated keystone for the OC200? I'm really not sure right now. Anyway, this cleaned up pretty well and ended up being better than I thought it was before. I think it was the right call to not put in the 2.5 gigabit switch. It would have been nice to have, but I think overall the entire look of the network rack is cleaner. At the same token, I kind of want the UNVR in the network rack, but it's just so heavy and so big. So I'm not gonna do it. But I think we're pretty much done, and all that's left to do is just to clean up, which I don't think you guys want to see a cleaning vlog necessarily, so I don't know. See you later, I guess.